In 1999, Morpheus offered Neo a choice between a red pill and a blue pill. In 2018, this country fractured between red and blue. In 2022, I'm here to tell you that if you really want the truth, more voters are neither red or blue. Yet, they have no representation, no choice, and no options. They have to choose between candidates chosen by the red people or the blue people. I'm David Esrati, and I'm running for Congress as an American, as in red, white, and blue. I'm a veteran, an activist, and a small businessman. I'm asking you to join me in reminding the professional politicians in Congress who their bosses are. I support ranked choice voting, campaign finance reform, and a verified voter information system, all so we can stop having the best politicians money can buy. It's time to elect a veteran who will work for you, no matter what color they want to label you. Please go to electesrati.com and learn more. I'm David Esrati, and I approve this message. Jurassic Park, you thought those little baby dinosaurs were cute until they turned into out-of-control carnivores. That's sort of what happens to government when we elect people based on very expensive advertising campaigns and propaganda. I'm David Esrati. I'm a veteran and a small businessman running for Congress. You don't want professional ad people and pollsters to sway your vote. All those hot-button issues like gun control, abortion, borders are all politicized to stop you from voting rationally. And thinking rationally seems to be in short supply these days. Most Americans have been voting against their own best self-interest for a long time because we've allowed money to buy our leaders. 1 million Americans died in the last 2 years because our leaders couldn't lead. It wasn't that hard. Mask, distance, test, and then vaccinate. In an instant, we had billions to spend on healthcare for COVID, when for years we've been told we can't provide healthcare for everyone equally in this country. That's an unintended consequence of the pandemic. If you think about it, our government can pretty much do whatever it wants, or what the people who buy our politicians tell our leaders to do. We also had a ton of money to prop up businesses. The next thing you know, it turns out that a living wage was not only possible, but necessary. As a small businessman who won't sell you out to corporate interests and lobbyists, I can tell you that it's time to fully understand the consequences of companies like Amazon, Facebook, and Google and their effect on small business, and to remind you that small business is the #1 creator of jobs in this country. So this next election, don't trust this ad or any other political ad. Do your homework and think before you vote. It's time to put this ad man in Congress because I know that the best advertising is based on the truth, not the size of the budget or payola. Or you can just vote based on who has the money to buy their way into Congress and live with the consequences. Hi, I'm David Esrati. It is Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. And how do I know that? Because tomorrow I turn officially old. I'll be 60. If you haven't RSVP'd for the fundraiser / birthday party at Coco's, I suggest you go on to electesrati.com over to the events tab and sign up and come down. Your odds of winning a Shepherd Ferry signed poster that's framed by Custom Frame Services are really good. And you've got 4 choices of meals. We'll have music from somebody from the Air Force Band of Flight, retired, my good friend David Cousineau. We'll have a good time, have some good food, and you'll meet some of my closest and dearest friends. So, enough of the hawking for the fundraiser. And the reason the fundraiser is so important is because, well, you know, I don't know 19 billionaires from out of state to give me the maximum donation in the primary and the regular election like Mike Turner. And I don't have a gerrymandered district, and I don't have support of the political party and a whole bunch of PACs from the defense industry. So if you want to see a change in Congress, I need you to come down and chow with me. All right. So I'm glad to see there are 3 of you here. Remember, this is interactive, and that's the whole point. You can leave comments on YouTube. I'll see them. I will respond to them. I'll say hi. And we will have a discussion, because that's what a representative does. They meet with the public and they have discussions with the public on a regular basis. For me, that'll be every day in Congress. I will tell you what happened, how I voted, why I voted, ask for insights, ask for background, tell you what's coming up the next day, because again, I believe in representing you, not being somebody in Congress just to be a lifetime politician and make a lot of money. Speaking of which, that brings us to our subject of the day. New York Times had an expose today about people in Congress making a buttload of money trading on insider information, stuff that their committees directly affect, and rolling in the dough. So, when I was younger, I used to ask my father about, should we elect, millionaires back then? Because billionaires weren't really a thing then. But millionaires to political office? My father said, I'd rather vote for somebody that's got millions because they can't be bought. Now that doesn't apply anymore, because millionaires aren't really anything anymore. You got to be a billionaire. And even at that, if you can't buy a rocket to blow up on the way to the near Earth, in space like Bezos did yesterday, you're not really there. Got to have a private yacht, a super yacht. You've got to have a private plane. You got to be. That's what we all believe. Your own Air Force, your own defense. Enough of that. So the issue is, why are these congressmen, these senators, trading in stock at all? Why are they buying stock? Look, you're getting paid $180,000 plus a year. You've got great benefits. You're raising millions, of which some of it you get to spend on yourself. Mike Turner spent $35,000 on food and beverage right out of his campaign fund. I mean, look, it's not like you're hurting for bucks. So why are you buying stock in other companies? In companies that you directly affect when you make policies or take votes on issues or change laws that could impact those companies and change their, what they're going to make on Wall Street. We already know that they have had people that bailed out of Boeing when they knew the FAA was going to ground the 737. I'm sorry. At that point, they should have taken them straight out of Congress and put them straight into the federal pen. It's kind of funny that we have a different standard for people on the Fed, different standard for people in government positions where you're not allowed to trade. If you work for the Treasury, you're not allowed to trade. So why is Congress trading? And, I know I'm a Democrat and everything, but do you want to tell me what Joe Biden's done since he got elected, when he was 27 years old? How does he own all those houses? How is he worth what he's worth? I mean, yeah, a book deal here or there, but no, something isn't right about going in and serving your country and getting to be a multimillionaire. That's just not what the job is supposed to be. And in fact, maybe, just maybe, we need to fix this and at least say, no, you can't trade. You can't give advice to anybody on trades. And if you get caught, you're going to prison. That's simple. Any emails, any texts, any calls, any smoke signals, I don't care what you think you're doing. But what you do in Congress and the information you get in private, you do not share with anybody. It's classified. It's there for making good decisions for all of us. We have to stop. And I see my good friend Mark is complaining that it's kickbacks from Hunter's dirty dealings. Hunter's not smart enough to do dealings to make that kind of money. He had the houses before when Hunter was still just a regular old dope fiend. I mean, again, if you want to talk about corrupt, let's ask, where's the stuff that Trump had, the empty folders for top secret, and why is his son-in-law Jared doing business with the Saudis for $2 billion? Let's talk about that, okay? So, Mark says he does agree with me. They shouldn't be allowed to trade. I agree. So, how do we change this? Well, first off, you got to stop electing the incumbents. Incumbents, lifetime politicians. I love this quote, so I say it way too often. Mark Twain said, why should you... he said, politicians are like diapers. You should change them often and for the same reason. Okay? Think about that for a second. We have a system that is just rife with chances for special interests to buy legislation, buy ways to gain, advantage on the marketplace. We give away huge amounts of money in terms of incentives that aren't equal opportunity incentives. I've said for years, anytime the government wants to intervene and subsidize or give an abatement or invest in private corporations, they better have the same standards for everybody, wide open, and every bid scored by a rubric that is ironclad, and there are clawbacks and clauses for if you don't deliver what you say you will, you're in trouble. I know we need to build computer chips in this country. I know we need to make magnets in this country. I know we need to do all kinds of things in this country, but the taxpayers shouldn't be paying billions. That's what Ohio is doing, to put an Intel plant in a cornfield. At least not while the CEO is making more than a factor of 20 times what his average employee is making. If you can't live on 20 times what your average employee is making, you should be able to invest your own money in your company and do it. Shouldn't be getting tax dollars. We need to put caps on CEO pay. If you're going to accept government funding, that goes to all hospital administrators, anybody who receives over, let's say, 35% of their income from the government. That would mean a lot of defense contractors. That would mean hospitals. That would mean insurance. Health insurance companies that might be getting paid, like CareSource, which is a funny organization that takes federal dollars for the poor and then ends up putting them in their own pockets while they pay their CEO $3 million a year plus. No, no, and no again. It's not you're here to get rich. The problem with people getting rich is when that inequality grows, we lose our freedoms, we lose our economy, we lose the ability to have control over our future. We've got to start holding elections again, not auctions. That's what my shirt says. And I'll have another shirt soon coming that says defund politicians. And you can buy those shirts on my store now, so you don't have to make a huge donation, but you're still limited by a cap. If you've given $2,900, and so far that only applies to two of my friends. Thank you very much to both Vanessa and Kevin. The rest of you, you got some catching up to do. Get busy, but you can buy those shirts at $35 a piece, and that's a great start there. So let's ban them from investing the whole time they get into Congress. In fact, probably should have them sell their whole portfolio before they enter office, or put it into a 401k or something they can't touch, and they can't touch it until they're getting out. Period. End of story. Nothing happens. Nothing goes in, nothing comes out. They're going to get a great retirement from their years in Congress. I don't even know what the retirement plan is. I probably should look that up. If we had a true voter information system, that kind of information would be readily available to all. Unfortunately, nobody's thought of that yet or implemented it. And that's one of the things I plan to do as a congressman, even as a junior congressman, because we need that at all levels of government. We need to have open, transparent, honest government of the people, for the people, and that's why they can't trade stock. I don't see any other questions or comments, so I'm going to wrap this one up short, early, fast, quick, down and dirty. because the New York Times article has all you need to know, but it's way too many people in Congress, about 200 out of the 535, and that is just way too many. I didn't get a chance to fully read the whole article and look into every single one of the cases, or because I've been really busy today. But we can talk about this again some other time. Mike Turner wasn't one of the ones listed, surprisingly enough. That's probably because he's still paying pretty big alimony to his first wife, and nobody knows what he's paying to his second wife. Excuse me, second ex-wife. So, again, fundraiser tomorrow night. I had told you that I would have Eric Price here tomorrow, who's running out in Greene County for state rep. He is scheduled for Thursday now. I've reached out to other candidates to bring them in to give them a chance to get on camera and talk. Haven't heard from them yet. And I also want to do a shout out to Miss Anya, who's running the video board for the first time today and doing an amazing job. We're trying to get everybody here at the office so they can interchange, so we never have a problem with having to have me do it by myself, which is really difficult. All right, so I hope everything worked out well, and we're still waiting for our new router to come in that will guarantee our uptime to be smooth, but we think we've got it whipped for right now. We reposted the video from Friday that was all glitchy, so you can watch it. I posted the South Dayton Democratic Club video on my YouTube channel, where you can see all the candidates, the Democratic candidates, make their little speeches. I'll post me by myself one separately here soon. We're working on some more. There's lots for you to find out on Esrati.com, and where I talk about the new business manager at Dayton Public Schools. And elect Esrati has this letter that the Ohio Democratic Party sent to me telling me, oh, you're not okay. You didn't pass our loyalty oath. I sent them a response last night. I'm waiting for a response today. But we should get to have some story there here soon. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Hope to see you at my birthday party fundraiser tomorrow night. All of you, if you can't make it, you can still donate, and it will be appreciated. So, until tomorrow, 4 o'clock, we'll see you then. Thank you for watching.